boop, bow, zippity bop, bow, zip, bop, 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 bam. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Karandrin Role Playing. My name is Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Cracked Palantir, and this is episode 71 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play the beautiful paladin, Brise. Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Hey everybody! Now it's not just Kevin that's feeling bad, but me that's feeling bad. So we've got a sickness going around, so it might be a little slow, but it'll still be a fun session, I think.
I think
Reese will be a little more confused than usual.
which is hard to imagine, honestly.
Can you just give a -10 to all my rolls? No matter
what. That's it. We got Brise out of the magical prison that was holding her near the area known as the Four Wells. I should change that caption and say was exploring. She was very badly injured in exploring a different part of it. There was sort of this really difficult to explain undead stomach that basically tried to devour her, and it actually shattered bones in her shoulder. And now, with great difficulty, she fought herself free of that and then made it back to Lady Miagral's keep, where soldiers found her and they were able to carry her back to the keep proper and take her to the healing wards, and she is now safe. We did about a day's worth of off-screen stuff, off-stream, maybe I should say, so that we could take care of sort of business that wasn't very compelling but needed to be handled anyway. Two things arose out of that we should catch you up on. The first is that in a pain hazed state, what happened with Aldrif, Brise?
Well, I remember a couple of people visiting me, including Aldrif, and came in a couple days later when I was a little more lucid, and he says, thanks for telling him all about Verilag and everything that's been, all the troubles that have been plaguing me. And I'm like, I don't remember telling him about that. So apparently I probably told him a little more information than he should be aware of. Mainly because it's very dangerous, anyone who knows about Verilag, because Verilag has keen ways of obtaining that information from people. And so the more people who know about who she truly is and our plans to stop her, the more dangerous things become. So
right. What we know is that he told her that, of course, I won't tell anyone about Verilag, and I really appreciate you telling me everything about her.
Immediately goes to his coworkers. You know what I heard the other day?
I wish we had a water cooler so we guys could chat.
Taylor's.
So the other thing dealt with the other thing is that you were researching 3 different names, the references to individuals. One is Volshad, which is some dark sorceress or something. She was in charge of the 4 wells, apparently had them built for some machination of hers. And you've asked around to Plesh and Fraudrum about their about her identity and reputation, but also 2 names that you've heard mentioned through the Trinidas about a being in the Vetch named Chelbrick or Riadon. And we found very little out about Chelbrick or Riadon, But tell the folks what we learned about Volshad.
We learned so far that Voshad in their time, right? They're believed to be dead now, I think, but in their time they were kind of almost psychopathic. As a person is the best way to describe them. They, rumored to began a fire in the town of Pleston that burned down an entire temple and many of its priests. Extremely extremely evil, ill motivated person. And even though they were killed, and I had actually heard, firsthand that the paladins that killed her, a lot of people believe she's not truly, dead, in whatever form she might have, you know, whatever stuff necromancers can do to cheat death or evade it. They think that she might still be out there in some form or another. So, and were there any other details about?
I don't think so. I think that's all.
I did want to bring up too. You saw in the email there about Voshad's prison specifically. If there's
right, we can add
an
that
area of magic or any kind of details on that. Okay, it'd be really nice to have something handy if I ever find myself caught in one of these. At least know how to avoid them. I can include that in the note I sent to.
Let's we'll rewind and do that. So what? Flash has heard things of like that described, but doesn't really have any information about what they are.
Yeah.
Fraldrum, and to remind people, Fraldrum is the chief wizard here at Meagral's Keep, the court magician, if you will, the primary magical advisor to Lady Meagral.
And entertainer.
And she believes she believes that those may be shadow arcs, ARCS. It's difficult to know just from a description like that.
Right.
But they are energies taken from dimensions of shadow. They can be used both for direct magical attack, but also because they're from a different dimension, they prevent teleport.
Oh, interesting.
Just their nature in those realms. The shadow realms, she adds, are known to be extraordinarily dangerous just because you can't use teleport to escape them or to escape dangers within them. You basically are forced to walk.
Now, for Brice's knowledge here, is it when she says dimension, does she mean like another world, or is this some other like terminology that or does it not even matter?
Those are the words she uses.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, some other place in time. Yeah.
So, see, I was modifying this. Sorry, guys. I was modifying this.
Ordinarily. I wrote down extraordinarily, and I'm like, that doesn't look right, but it is.
Right.
Which makes them ordinarily dangerous.
Right, just ordinarily dangerous.
Ordinary danger. Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess it sounds like, because they come from another dimension, there's no like magic to counteract them directly. It's not like unholy magic. It's from another world.
I guess, part of your question was, what could defeat it or whatever.
Yeah.
She says she doesn't doubt that the priesthood would term that as evil or unholy. But it's a separate question it's a separate question from whether or not holy items would help against it. She says it sounds very much like a trap set against magic users.
Right.
Um, So,
Hmm.
um,
Okay. Well, good stuff. Yeah.
hmm, I have
So I think we were around noon when they got those messages, right?
right. So
On the
yeah. So
18th.
um, we also had a visit from Crowlum.
Oh, right.
Crowlum has revealed what to you, Brise?
He has revealed that in 1 week's time, his plan will roll into action, and he has an assistant who will approach me. The
And we
specifically the assistant potion master of this keep, which is a human male named Jarwin.
and we
Jarwin with a J.
and he had kept that hidden,
Right.
but now that it's approaching time. And you guys had a discussion about whether or not to wait and try both solutions simultaneously and so on. And you flatly turned him down and said, we can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is your thoughts regarding, given that you now have your wound has become fevered, and your shoulder, it may delay your involvement in this.
Yeah.
Are you gonna are you gonna go AMA? Do you know that term? Leave the
No.
hospital AMA. It's against medical advice.
Oh.
It's a legal thing. So
Right.
you tell
Right.
them, look, I'm leaving AMA.
Well, how do I mean, how have I ever, had a previous experience, had an infection, or ever had like an injury like this, or I'm like, oh, I can tough it out, or do I feel like,
in this day and age, certainly there are, you saw farmhands die of lesser wounds than what you have due to infection.
Yeah.
Of course, I guess it's a win-win, right? Verlag gets taken care of no matter what.
Yeah. Die from infection. What a great way to go.
But
the only worst thing I think of a dysentery, but all right. Well, I know that I'm a pretty strong individual, so I think we could wait another day and see if it improves. I think we have another day to wait, at least, to give myself more rest, because I trust the good superior constitution of my high man body.
well, and
I just know that I think I'll get better if I get more rest. Get more rest. So I'll try to wait another day and see how it goes.
right, okay.
But I mean, also ask the suggestion of the surgeons and the physicians as well.
It may be they tell you that if it doesn't clear by tomorrow, then they may, and especially if the fever area begins to swell, they may have to lance it and just slice you open to get rid of the corruption. They're also going to have the more prayers done over you, and of course, they tell you to,
paying these doctors to prayers over me. That's not what
hey,
where's my money going to in this society?
This is the medicine of the age. You got to deal with it, right?
Let's leave it in the hands of the gods.
Oh, that is so funny. So, I mentioned to you, Max, a long time ago that Restream added tickers that you could do. And I think they've provided some lovely free tickers for you, like pre-written tickers. They're all free, but they're all advertisements for Restream, which is just.
Can we see one?
All right. Oh, you want to see what? All right, hang on.
Why not? We use this. We use this platform for 70 episodes. Oh, yeah, there we go. Just in case you didn't realize, we're live at Restream.io.
Right.
I would love it to
I
put like a fake Karandrin news article, like Goblin,
Oh, that
Goblin
would be
steals
so.
from
That is so funny.
That'd
I
be
like that.
10,000 gold pieces worth of equipment missing.
Here we go. Here we go. So yeah, we're gonna start doing.
Go.
So there you go. We're gonna start doing Karandrin news items on the old ticker here. I wonder how long they could be because I try to do 2 stories, and on the same one.
Yeah. Oh man,
Um,
that's pretty great.
you like that?
That's like a feature I never thought I would need, but now I realize I do. Just need someone going down there.
That's right. I mean, I guess I could put, visit Karandrin.com and then maybe.
You know what I think also what those are for? I've seen some streamers, so that's when they're on break. They won't have a break screen maybe, but they'll have like that saying, be back.
Okay. Well, we
have our, break screens.
We do have our break screen. Yeah, that's not bad. We'll look into that. That is really funny. That's good. I like that. We'll play around with it. I'll try to do a new one for every stream.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun. That'll be a hoot. Where's our usually have a ticker showing us not a ticker, but a timer showing us how long we've been on. I don't see it right now. Anyway. There it is. I got you. So I was looking for a new thing to put up. That's what I was doing. Where's my Frowdrum one? That's what I was looking for. Frowdrum comes to visit you early afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Is worried at the news of your fever. She tells you very quietly that she in fact she sends the physicians out and demands that you two are not disturbed.
Okay.
She tells you that Plash has informed her of the plan.
Right.
And of course, you tell her now that you know who the accomplice is. Who?
Absolutely, yeah.
And she says he was on my list at least. And she asks why you had interest in Volshad at all.
I'll tell her about just exploration of the 4 wells, and I can if she has time, I'll go into all the details. The paladins and the towers and all that. So yeah, just discovering the towers, exploring all of them, and saving the souls of the paladins, and then encountering the undead being. All that stuff.
She nods. She says that some of her colleagues have spent time here and there trying to determine Volshad's whereabouts, in part because they were old enemies, her colleagues and Volshad, and she's not someone you want as an enemy. She is just exceptionally cunning.
Yeah.
And exceptionally vengeful. Just a woman just filled with hate and spite, and obsessed with power. Um, Definitely a necromancer, but perhaps particularly given the trap you faced, her specialties extended to the ability to travel and manipulate other worlds.
Right.
So,
not just undead from this world, undead from other worlds.
That's right.
Wow. So, yeah, and I do inform her that I have, I've notified the temples, of the location of the full wells, and hopefully they can send some more. It's obviously a bit much for one person to clear out, and maybe try to. Oh, you froze for a bit. I don't know if you.
Yeah, you did too. It was weird.
No, you froze. I was fine.
Well, I have a hard.
We'll watch it back, and we'll see later.
That's right.
I tell her that I've informed the temples in Balabry about location of the full wells, and they would send anyone out there to try to I don't know the right way, take care of the evil that lingers there still. You're frozen again, Kevin. What the heck? All right, I'm checking the live stream here.
I think it was me that time.
Who's frozen? Me or you? Now my YouTube isn't loading. What's going on? We're still
because I saw my, because I.
Oh man, what's going on?
It's me, I think.
Yeah, I'm checking the YouTube, the playthrough. It's I'm still talking, but you're freezing.
Yeah, my internet's just going in and out, even though I'm not moving it or anything. It's weird. It must be a local issue.
Hopefully.
So yeah, sorry guys, we're just going to have to power through because we don't have a solution to this.
The way I imagine is Fraldrum I keep telling her, she's like, huh? What? Sorry, what?
I drifted off there.
I'm trying to talk to you. I tell her that I've notified the temples in Balabry, location of the four wells, and if they could send anyone to, expunge the evil still there, or at least to have more information about it if they need to.
She shakes her head and says, they'll pass that up the chain to higher temples. There's not enough resources at these places to attempt such a thing. And there are certainly too few priests of any real merit or courage to bother. But it was a good thought.
Okay.
She says she also has learned from Flesh that Oshekra had convinced the eagles to begin attacking anything unusual in the valleys.
Right.
Believing that it would stem Verlag's gathering of resources.
Right.
She said, which is a foolish and brash plan because you can't attract Verlag's attention because Verlag could destroy any of us. And while that didn't happen, the attacks have stopped because now almost half the eagles cannot fly. They've been injured too grievously.
Oh, man.
And so they spent a week doing raids on giants that were reported. Even as
man, what's going on? Kevin, speak to me. Oh man,
is sucking. I don't know. It's just I watched the light go out.
It's sucking and not in a good way. It's
That's right. That's right. This isn't episode 69. You can't make those jokes.
Oh, until episode 169.
That's right. So
I heard that half the eagles are now gravely injured, cannot fly.
yeah, they're not
They've been
capable of
raided by
flight.
giants.
Yeah, they had hit giants. They hit a group of trolls. But a lot of the younger eagles took on targets that were far too powerful for them.
It's trolls and bears. Oh my!
But there was even rumor, most terrifying, that a dragon was seen in the sky.
No! Oh my gosh!
And that would mean, of course, that they have returned after 150-year silence. I forget the number. I think it's 100, 150, 350. I can't remember. The last dragon that was seen was the one that attacked Alamar.
Yeah, and then it went to the Great Fern Marsh, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There are 8 or 9 dragons known in the area, something like that. There's one that was known to have taken the northern elven city during the goblin invasion. In the midst of that siege, with both sides weak, the dragon of that area basically laid waste to the city and claimed it as his or her own. I forget the gender of the dragon. So that one may just still be there and therefore not really hidden, but the dragons have largely been quiet for the past century or more, and now maybe Verilag is calling to make deals.
Okay, Verilag.
So
there really is no time to waste. We need to.
So do you have any questions for her?
I do not. I don't think. She told me about Beaushot. I do want to mention that, the paladins I met specifically said they slew Beaushot, and I asked, how do you think she would still be alive? Like, if they knew that they were the ones who could it have been a duplicate of her, or her essence, or her soul has remained? What arts do you know of that she might have employed?
There are a number of possibilities, some less dangerous than others. The consensus is simply that she is simply too intelligent and too cunning to be caught and killed simply.
I see.
And we know that the reports, the rumors were from those that the one paladin that made it back, he was lost and wandered from his party to report back to the temples. And by the time he was found, he was not in great shape. But he reported that they burned her body before seeing his comrades collapse and succumb to her power.
Right.
Which you've certainly confirmed part of that for us. It simply sounds too simple. Do you want to mention the desk to her?
Oh, yeah, good idea. I forgot about that. What was that desk called again? Scroll my notes here.
Yeah, I imagine you just search for the word desk. I mean, how many times could you have referenced the desk?
Only 3 times, and that is the only time. So a desk has been purposefully the desk of last writing. I mentioned to her in one of those towers. I came across what I think to be is the desk of last writing. It was hacked and destroyed, and was attempted to be burned, but was still intact
and radiating a malevolence.
Yes, yeah.
Resolute. Why is Obi-Wan saying resolute? Hi, Obi-Wan. It's good that you're on the stream. So she says, in all likelihood, what you'll find is that powerful sorcerers and so on will have an object designed after a mythological object.
Okay.
Because they're fond of the stories of that object. But clearly, what you found, the Resolute desk in the White House, right? Made from the hull of the USS Resolute.
Made from the bones of the last presidents who.
That's correct.
We're talking about different desks, I think.
But no doubt that desk then was enormously powerful if it still retained power after being largely destroyed. Interestingly, in time, such artifacts tend to repair themselves. Maybe in another century, that desk was probably had more burn damage on it 10 years ago.
Right.
But as slowly the magic is rebuilding itself. So, she tells you then that, if you wish to be a part of this, they can't wait too much longer.
Right. I tell her that it's one more day. I want to see if things improve, and whether I'm healthy or not, I definitely tomorrow will take action.
All right. I will let Plesh know. Let's say 24 hours from now.
Okay.
And if you can't join us, then we're going to have to proceed.
It's understandable.
Oh, it's really tough sometimes knowing all the behind the scenes.
I'm considering doing a miracle roll when I go to bed. Maybe I'll magically get way better overnight.
Well, let's.
So we still have the rest of the day, right? I guess.
We still, yeah. So it's early afternoon.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything else really I had, pending. So I do want to find out more about what's their names, the two, Chelbrick and Riadon. But I always need to send people to town to do that, really. So.
Well, you could. Didn't you have a researcher here that you've hired before?
I had a person in the library who had researched in Miagral's library. Forgot their name. I could look it up, but pay her a little extra if she doesn't mind going down to town and doing some research.
Well, have her. You might as well have that person start here, right? And then.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well. No. Sorry, but back up. Remember, we said that we don't want her looking in books, right? The whole point is that these are
too recent.
Yeah, possibly. That won't be documented.
Right.
So we would really need just people to ask around town.
Right. I guess, probably.
I do. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, probably to keep you out of trouble, Fraudrum would ask, what is it that you're seeking about the names Chelbrick and Riadon?
So I know I've Fraudrum's in the know about pretty much everything. So I would have talked to her about the Philistine before, and that they're such vehement enemies of Verilag. They're seeking to mobilize against her and endanger possibly thousands of people living in in the Vetch, in that area they inhabit, and so the Trinidas and the Flower Children are kind of keeping an eye on them, and they've told me those are 2 names they've overheard in their plotting. And so if we can figure out what they're doing, hopefully put a stop to it, or before it gets out of hand.
Fraldrin just takes this enormous sigh of weariness, and she's like, there's just so many forces of evil working constantly. Mm-hmm. She says, even I don't have time to go and destroy the towers that you found. Even if
they're popping up every day, it seems like.
I mean, there are forces with machinations in the ancient lands that I am contending with. There are plots in the Gravita Empire, which is one of the southernmost of the desert nations, right? That I am working against. I am, as are no doubt all people of real good intent. We are just spread very thin.
It's interesting to think about, like they had to teleport, right? It's like the fact that people can teleport it, it makes all these dangers and things, because the ancient lands are real far away, right?
They're
miles and miles.
Yeah, they're north even of the northern extremes of the Goblin Empire.
Yeah,
there are a couple of regions there that just sort of have general regional names. They're just generally unsettled, just because it's kind of tough living up there. And then beyond that is where you get the western edge of the eastern lands, of the ancient lands, and then they spread. They're a large and mysterious area of sort of cold plains. It's kind of be like areas like Montana and things like that. Cold weather, rugged.
I'd really like just for this to be called Montana.
That's right. Yeah.
Montana. Yukon. Right. But yeah, no, I agree with her, and it's something I'm coming quickly to realize. My short time adventuring.
And it takes, but one step off the path to become entangled in these machinations.
Quite literally, in my case.
Or simply destroyed by them for fear of meddling. So she rises, suddenly she just seems very old, and she seems very tired. And she rises, and she sort of looks off, down the stretch of the healing ward, and she's just kind of lost in her own thoughts. And then she sort of gathers herself, and she pats you on the foot, and she says, "Well, I'm glad that you're on our side."
Yeah.
She says she'll check in with you tomorrow around lunchtime, but then we have to reach a decision.
Right.
So, man, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because you've got, of course, you've got 2 solutions coming in the next several days.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know that Verlag's machination for his freedom somehow is going to endanger you. I mean, right. That's true, but it does save the world, right? I mean, he is really trying
to save the world at this moment.
Krallum, yeah.
Whatever Krallum plots later on.
So, yeah. So what's your next step for research on the names, Chelbrook and Riadon?
I asked I forgot to pull up their name. The researcher who I've talked with before in Mia Grall's library, I send for her and see if she can do research on the town, like asking for for those names, and I guess who would be they would need to go to like adventurers guilds and like wizards and stuff, right? So I don't know if that would be the right thing to do. It might need to be something I need to do myself,
Or this is interesting, right? This could be one of your great. This is one of the great organic moments of Karandrin. Send word to your adventuring guild to pay an adventurer to do this research for you.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
And see, there's a little adventure that some first level character is going to pick up, right?
Right.
And we could actually have. I mean, if we were organized enough, right? We could have had one of our buddies,
2 players, yeah,
be the first level player, and they're running around town. What does this person want to do with this? And of course, you not wanting to tip your hand about what's going on because you don't want to involve anybody else. You become the secretive kind of master.
Right.
Kind of
like Prethnod, like in Convergence, like just I need these things done. Like,
right. And so you're like, well, why would they not tell me? Well, now you're the other,
exactly,
the other foot, you're like, because I don't want to get you killed. That's why I don't want you to know.
That's really funny. It's come full circle.
Only
took 10 levels and 3 years of play.
That's right. And it's kind of interesting too, because one of the other reasons that you don't share a lot with your minions is one category, but also just hirelings and things like this is you don't want them to meddle, right? You're like, if there's something to gain, I don't want you to take it from me. I spent all this effort to get this far, and so you only tell them as much as they need to know. So, do you want to send word, and what reward do you want to offer? Remember, these are going to be young adventurers,
right?
And so, it doesn't have to be, 5 gold is probably too little for them,
right? But 25, seems like a good.
Or if you've got like a scroll or something you just want to give.
True, yeah. Let me check. I think I do have some scrolls. I probably don't. I have a couple speak. Yeah, I'll give 10 gold and a speak with control animal scroll.
Okay.
To offer.
Yeah, that's about it's about 40 gold worth of rewards. So race a couple of bronze, send a runner down to the thing to make the offer. Do you want to put the entire? Do you want to have them come and meet you at the keep? Because that way you could suss them out, and so
exactly.
you can,
I can say I don't think that's worth the full reward.
So maybe say 2 gold for an interview. Like you'll give them 2 gold just for showing up.
Yeah.
You get a decent little dagger for that much. And say you're already finding too. You can just some of your treasure can be just used as payment.
Right.
So off they go. And you find yourself dozing for the rest of the day. Let's see if you get a bite.
What am I fishing?
That's right. You do get a bite. I need the old NPC roller, which I have not used in like a month because you've been away from NPCs.
I have, yeah.
Whenever you're out in the woods.
Well, it's funny also, I guess they meant those paladins, right? But they're all undead, so you don't really roll up, their hair color and all that stuff.
Right.
Unless it's like their previous life, if that's important.
Like personality stuff, we do.
Right.
Where is my NPC roller? What is it? I can't remember what it's called to look up the file name. This is so dumb.
Oh man.
There it is. I got it. All right. Not as dumb as I look, but I'm exactly as dumb as I smell, which is really interesting.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Um,
We might get banned for that.
I get banned for
Yeah,
referencing.
bad odor.
I need to put that file somewhere else. I have for my interest in fantasy and like sailing aspects, I have the Santa Maria's deck plan. One of Columbus's ships.
Right.
So, are we opening? What are we doing here? What's going on? What is the delay? So it's a person.
They have two eyes.
Man, this is taking
A
forever to
mouth.
load.
Where is that from? Oh God, I can't remember now. Something. It's like they have. Describe them to me. It's like they have two eyes. No, it was from a cartoon or something. I'll remember later.
So, robed individual, female. Let's see. Huh. Interesting. Roll for me.
78.
Clearly a female half-orc trying to hide their race, trying not to let that bias sway people. Of course, the orcs are fairly aggressive and so on. News of their border skirmishes with the dwarves reach even your lands. They certainly believe in conquest. They believe that violence is a perfectly fine way of settling things. Roll your intuition about these.
16.
So, mysterious figure. Um, speaks in facts to you and says, I'm hoping that I can help you in this research task. She's clearly pretty nervous, not good at hiding her emotions yet. She's looking, she's curious about the surroundings, obviously, because she's basically meeting you in a hospital.
Right.
You pay her the 2 gold for the interview, right?
Yeah. That up front, and I, just to break the ice a little bit, what's your name? How long have you been venturing?
I am Gedrick, Geddrick. My family is from the Pegrand, far south of here, but this is my first week from home.
Oh wow, okay. Very fresh. I tell her that I've only been for a few months myself out on the road, away from home. So no need to think of me as some high and mighty, all knowing person. So.
How can I be of assistance?
Yeah. Well, I tell her a little bit. Well, I guess I'm curious. No, yeah. I mean, if she's only been adventuring for a week, she seems like she's pretty green, right? To just kind of do whatever I say. I don't need to.
She is, but I mean, you could just say, I want to just continue the conversation until you get a better feel of her. I mean, if you want to judge her
True.
character.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I do want to judge her character again. Like we don't want her to take this information let it fall in the wrong hands. So yeah, we could just kind of keep breaking the ice, talking.
Sure. So you just get her to talk. The Pagrand is, you just get her to talk about some of the things you learn from what she says. The Pagrand is an area of largely unclaimed land, heavily forested, in between the southern parts of Theaxia and the northern parts of Garduk, which is the Orc nation. She's from one of the small settlements there in the northern part of the Pagrand. She mentions that going to south and the Pagrand is increasingly dangerous because of the pirate haven that is down there. And they believe in slavery, and they'll just take people right out of their homes and enslave them for life in the city. So those are the pirates of the Black Gulf, she tells you. She just wanted to get away from the rural and desperate lifestyle. They took in an adventurer who was injured and had escaped some slavers. Didn't escape slavery, but escaped the slavers themselves, and had made it barely to her parents' farm. And then from there, she learned her arts and so on. So roll again. Let's see what kind of feel you have for her.
86.
So yeah, she seems so new at this. She's not likely to grab the gold and run. And so you think you found yourself a perfectly fine assistant.
Well, I say, well, Gedrick, you seem competent, and the summary is these two people or beings. These are two names associated with an area of the Vetch. If you're familiar with that.
She shakes her head, and you just tell her, it's a hilly, unsettled land to the west of here.
Right, and I guess that's I want to know who these people are and what their if they have any plans or motivations or powers, what they specialize in, whether they're wizards or other things,
and that they're likely to be dangerous,
right?
And therefore take care, right? Roll for me.
22.
She nods, considering it, and there we go. Does that work? Yep, there we go. And she says, "Fine. I can do things subtly."
Good.
Where do you recommend that I get this information?
I tell her that Malabry itself is a little small. How far away is Convergence again? Isn't it? It's a couple days, right?
Yeah, no, it's maybe close to a week because of the mountains.
I remember we had like a journey out here, but I can't remember.
Well, you teleported. You cheated.
Teleported. Yeah, that's the thing. I forgot.
Like a bastard. You just teleported. Um,
Well, in that case, I'll tell her that the town of Balladry is kind of small. There are convergence. A larger city would have a lot more resources, but you probably have to teleport or find some magical means to get there because it's a week away. Um, um, but and she asked specifically like where she should go technically. Yeah, I do mention that these people are probably still alive. You won't really want to look in libraries or books for them, but ask around adventuring guilds,
magic shops.
magic shops, other wizards you can come across at taverns. Again, discreetly.
So she nods and thinks about it. When would you hope to hear from me?
Let's see. I know I'm meeting the Trinidas on the 20th, so it'd be good for then. Afternoon 20. Could you come back if you find anything before the 20th, the morning of the 20th, right? We could meet and discuss then. I know that's a short amount of time, but
I can at least hit the resources we have here at hand.
Right.
And I can ask, I can at least try to get this town covered and give you a report there, and then we can discuss more afterwards.
Sounds good.
So she nods she gives you a little bow and she goes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ooh.
write that down. Rest of the time, like you try to read, but you're just too uncomfortable. You sleep a lot. You're woken for dinner, just hot soup, and
sounds so good right now. I've been making miso soup.
I was introduced to the fact that Panera brand soups are available in the supermarket. And then I was introduced to the fact that they were $10 a serving.
Oh,
and I said, dear God, no. And
$10 for a can of soup?
It's it's a cup that you microwave, but essentially, yes.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And so anyway, there are recipes online for their cheddar broccoli.
Yeah, I think we'll do that.
And I'm like, yeah, I'd spend $20 to get a pot of it, a massive pot of it, because it's so good. I love their cheddar broccoli.
All right. Sup on some soup and
why don't we take a break?
Sounds good.
And then we'll come back and start the next day. We will go from there. All right.
Okay.
So, guys, we're going to stretch our legs and grab some drink. Please feel free to do the same. And join us back, and we'll see if we get the next day to go and release Kralum. After, man, I don't know. I mean, I guess this issue's been since we've started streaming, right?
Yes,
so
it really has to. I wish I was more excited, but I'm just like, yay. That's being sick.
That's really funny. Let's do this, and we'll take a break, guys. We'll be right back with you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Give us just a second, and we will continue episode 71 of Brise's Tale. See you in a minute. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. As you saw, I changed the ticker. That will sort of make that our standard also, in addition to our sign. And then while we're playing, I thought we'd try this one. So we'll just see. Um,
Life challenge.
so I thought that would be a fun one. And then
That's just a way for me to take out life insurance on myself.
that's right.
They'll
And
pay
then,
me like
that's right. And then you are on the payroll. As little as we get, you are on the payroll. But then for our another news item, I added this one. So,
dragging, drugs, drag.
so
Oh, past tense of drag, drug.
that's
Dragging, drugs.
no drugs, as in to inflict drugs upon. But
Oh, drugs. Oh, you know what? I'm too. I'm too.
you're
Out of
too
it.
out of it.
To understand.
Yeah, I understand that.
Decipher the grammar of that sentence.
That's right. So we'll go back to the Brise one because that's really in honor of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's an. I mean, and Quinn doesn't seem to be on right now, but I think he'll get a kick out of that one if he watches. If he watches up to the, past the break, So,
Right. So it is nighttime, and I guess we'll take a rest. Now I'll do a miracle now that in the night, some force, I somehow recover fully and don't need any surgery and no infection or anything. Touched by the gods, you might say.
right. All right, we'll roll it up.
Yeah, let's see. 100. 67.
Well, I mean, it's called the miracle roll for that very reason.
Let's see what
So,
actually happens then.
yeah. Let's do your let's do your rolls. So roll them up. Let's
Okay.
do how late do you sleep?
73.
So a little later than normal.
24.
No dreams that you remember of, and let's see how your health is doing.
82.
82. Great. So you are definitely, definitely you definitely feel better in your infection, but you find when you wake that it doesn't seem to be current medical practice, but they seem to be doing it anyway. A little thing called gagging you and tying up your hands and wrists, your wrists and feet.
Okay.
You're in a small room propped up against a wall.
Oh no, are we gonna? I know what this is. It's gonna be medieval surgery.
It's if only that were, if that would be better than what's actually happening. And there's a little rat on your lap. It says,
Okay.
I'm sorry about this. And of course, he's not. There's no way he's sorry if he planned on killing you.
Yes.
But I can't let your plan go ahead of mine.
Okay.
You are not in the healing room. There's no way you're near the ward. You have been kidnapped.
Okay.
Give me a perception roll. Let's see if there's
Sure. Why not? What can I perceive? 79.
the room is dank, dark except for the single candle. He tells you we're going to try to keep the fever in your shoulder at bay.
um, I'm going to try to struggle a bit and see how good these bonds are. This is a little freaky.
Well, roll for him.
50.
No, they're pretty tight.
Okay.
Not, you think, impossible to eventually work and loosen, but it's going to be a chore. And with that hurt shoulder,
Yeah. No.
You can't really exert as much force as you could. But it's clear these weren't expertly tied, because
Right.
even with your weakened condition,
And this is what I was thinking of, not even telling him about their plan, but I thought, shit.
and I'm, because it's but not sandbox, because it's well, I guess, I mean, not sandbox, because it's organic and because I don't really know what's going to happen. I didn't know.
Yeah. But
So I
one
said,
of my
okay.
things, I wonder if he's going to try to prioritize his plan over mine. But I'm like, I should let him know anyway, because if we appear there, if he needs to, I don't know, be ready for anything.
I mean, it was a reasonable thought that we are now on the same plan. So let's,
exactly. Yeah.
you're at least you're definitely on the same goal,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I rolled for his willingness to wait, and it was crazy low. And I'm said, is he going to take action? I had to give it a bonus. And then, so you are officially kidnapped. So
what a turn. Okay. Well,
your feeling is, the stonework here looks familiar, and you're thinking it's the same that I've seen in parts of the castle, parts of the keep, near my room. So it must be in that period of construction that wherever I am was built, which suggests you're still in the keep. They didn't risk trying to sneak you out of the keep.
Right.
And remind me, did you learned of where the teleport spot was that the magicians use, right?
Which magicians?
Though the magicians teleport out of the keep from a particular location. Didn't you learn about where that location was?
Yeah, there is a place that's unguarded by Fraldrums, her wards, on a grain silo, at the top.
Yeah, it's inside. Yeah, it's inside a grain silo in the back of the keep.
Yes.
And so you could think, oh, well, they could have gotten me out that way, but carrying me up a ladder,
right?
The rat can't do it.
Yeah.
It would take several accomplices. And this is such a weird. Do they risk the pain in your shoulder waking you up?
Yeah.
So,
well, I can't talk, so
you can murmur. So he crawls up to you disgustingly and undoes the thing. I mean, it's just gross feeling his little claws in your hair.
Yeah.
And then you feel him work back there, and the gag falls out. He says, "You can scream as much as you'd like now. No one's going to hear you down here."
Is there any?
It's time for you to try your first handless cast.
Yeah.
Motionless cast.
I can talk now. Teleport. I ask him, try to keep my cool, I guess, as much as I can. Ask him, well, tell me all about this plan then. I understand if I'm freaking out as well.
Ooh. So I enlisted the help of Jarwin because they knew potions. My knowledge of potions, of course, is vast and spans 100 worlds. So I could, while not create the potion myself, I can impart the lore of potions to someone and make a potion unknown to Verilag that could transform me into a small flying creature, too small for these giant manacles to hold.
Wow.
Unfortunately, due to my vast and mighty size, the potion has to be 60 gallons. And
Wow,
I actually sat and did the math. I'm like, God, all right. So let's say 100 to a 200-pound being can drink, it's like a 4-ounce potion is usually what you drink, the little vials. So, okay, let's do the math on this. What do I figure he weighs? Like, how many elephants do I think he weighs? And do the math. And then, he's got to round up, right? Because he can't be wrong. If it's too small, it won't work at all. If it's somewhat too much, it won't have that much harmful effect. Certainly nothing that he can't handle. So my math showed around 60 gallons. 50 gallons is probably safe. 60 gallons.
Can it please be just like a giant vial too with a big cork?
Oh my God, that's funny. It's like, and it comes with a giant check from Publishers Clearinghouse. That's the other exciting thing about it. Here you go.
Okay. I blink and I'm like, I don't know if that'll work, but okay.
But of course, the potion being so large, it's taken weeks to assemble the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
We've had to brew it in batches. But we are so close. Another 4 days, and it will be ready.
4 days, not now. Then, so you're going to keep me down here until
the potion is ready. Then you and I will go to his private workshop, and you will teleport us to my prison with the potion. He'll use a levitate spell so he can move this potion at all, because it probably weighs. I mean, if you said, water weighs
60 gallons of water.
It's 60 gallons of water. So, if you say 8 pounds a gallon, the thing is 500 pounds that he's got to move. So he'll put a levitate spell on it so it will move. And then he will push it over me and then cancel the spell. As soon as it's over me, it will fall, splash.
Ice bucket challenge.
It is the ice bucket challenge of Ice Lords.
Okay.
And then we will know. And then I will transform, of course, into a flying creature so I don't plummet into the lava. And then the natural boundaries of the world will throw me back into my realm. Roll for me.
Will that actually happen? 74.
You believe him 100%. That you believe that he believes it.
Okay. So what I recall is that, well, yes, he himself can't be contained in this world, but also the manacles themselves. Like, I guess that makes sense. They're the things that are keeping him here. So if you destroy the manacles or you free him, he goes back. Okay. I say, well, that checks out. Okay.
Roll again.
Hold on, I'm trying to write all this down. 7.
Okay, well, you have nothing to write down there. Don't worry about that.
Potion, which.
So there you go. So you write, and I'll just keep the folks at home entertained. So here we are. Brise is now captured by Kralum as the race to free Kralum has. It's really an arms race, and it's a multi-armed race because he's a giant spider scorpion. But and so he was unwilling to wait for Plesh and Falrum's Faramar's plan, because if it fails, then defenses will be increased on the prison, and then his plan will be for nothing. Now it's so it is a reasonable question to ask. Then, will she be able to detect? Will Verlag be able to detect a failed attempt with this potion?
Right.
But admittedly, it does seem less likely that
it's not affecting the
right. Whereas you guys are trying to affect the manacles, which you could see defenses being placed on. Just from your own magical experience and training, every living being has a natural defense on magic, including magic that would benefit them if they don't want it to benefit them.
Right.
And so any sort of detection or whatever cast on him, she would have to overpower his natural defenses. That seems unlikely.
Right.
She made the manacles, and they're not living.
Mm-hmm.
Now
there was the case when the Eagles did, attack Crowlem and end up, injuring him. She was able to detect that, but that maybe is something different.
They struck the manacles too.
Right, as well. We weren't sure which one alerted her.
Which instance, which blow caused her to investigate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I'm gonna plead with Crowlem a bit here, and I say, okay, Crowlem, how about this? How about I won't go ahead with I promise you won't go ahead with the plan with Plesh and Falramar. We'll do them at the same time. In 4 days' time, we'll execute both. In case one fails, then we'll have double chances of getting them to work.
If it fails, what you can do is teleport us immediately back and try your plan that next hour. As soon as you're ready.
Right. Which means you don't have to keep me. Well, then the thing is, so you're going to keep me in here for the next 4 days until
what choice do I have?
Die of infection.
Fever. I have fever.
Fever. Sorry. That's what they call it these days.
You forget that I have enlisted the aid of a potion master. There's no chance of you dying, although I understand that the accommodations are not the best. But surely some discomfort is worth ending the threat that Verlag poses to us all.
I have a trump card I could pull on him. And
okay.
I'm not sure if I should do. I need to consult you first, Kevin.
Sure. Okay. Well, I've got other things to do. So what if I just walk away from the stream? Like I have a question. I'm like, just hang on just a second. I just walk out, and then you're left to entertain people. That would be so great. Like, why can't we do that? That would be fantastic.
I'm going to say this thing to a king of demons, and I'm not sure if it's the right.
Yeah, sure.
I could say to him that I'll summon Verlag here right now if you don't. I demand. This is unacceptable.
So it's a bluff.
Yes.
Wow, but what a fucking bluff. That is one of the most, that may be the most tactically brilliant thing I have ever seen you do. That is amazing.
It struck me. I'm like, I don't want to be trapped here. I mean, it's worth it. I can. Yeah. I mean, what do I got to lose if I say it and he doesn't?
Well, my thing is, why bluff?
I mean, I don't know if I can actually, but I think I would want to.
I think you know that you can. I think you know that you can have a shot.
We've had previous times where I've had dreamed about her. I've kind of reached out to her, and she appears the next day, but it was never like instantaneous.
No. Well, right, not it wasn't guaranteed.
Right.
You're not certain of it, but remember the time in the vetch, that resort like manor,
Yes.
you needed help with that portal,
Right. And
and
I
you
remember.
climbed out, and you just thought about her and thought about her, and within an hour she appeared.
Yeah. That was within an hour, wasn't it? I was trying to
It
remember
was
that.
relatively prompt,
Okay.
certainly much more so than chance would suggest possible. Wow, what a play on your part.
I mean, this is perfectly in character. Breach does not like being, told what to do, or this is I'm no pussy here. So I think I'll say it, and we'll just see where it goes. So I look him dead in the eyes and say, "You will release me now, or else I'll summon Verlag here and ruin everything for your plan. I'll go ahead with mine. Won't tolerate this."
All right, roll for your delivery of it.
91.
Well, now, I've got a question, and that is, are you being serious or not?
Well, that's okay. That's the second half. Is all I have to say was I was kidnapped. Oh, but then the potion. Then the guy would know.
What potion? What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. The assistant, right?
Yeah.
If she were to come across that person, right, then I could say I was just kidnapped by someone I don't know who. But if she investigates, finds out it was.
Well, I think obviously what would occur to you is to say, I hadn't seen Crowlem until this moment, and then I wake up here. I was in the healing
Oh,
ward,
that's a brilliant idea. Of course,
and
yeah.
then right, that's why I summoned you. Is you told me to let you know if I ever
Right.
saw Crowlem, and here is Crowlem. Now the thing is,
Yeah.
that is a lie, and you do have to lie to Verilag.
Right.
But that can be, that's a secondary issue altogether.
Right. So yeah, thinking of that, I'm like, okay, well, I am serious. I will do it. Yeah. So I'm telling the truth when I tell
Okay.
him that I will summon her here.
Jeez, dude. This is really.
It was a good session.
Oh, man, this is really interesting.
I just want to make Crowlem hate me even more. Than he already
Roll
does.
for me.
24.
Okay. Almighty damn.
See, well, I thought of something now. If I do summon her and do tell her about Crowlem, then she's
Yes.
going to increase the defenses on him. So, I mean, which is just we'll have to deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I've already committed to, I'm going to summon her if I can.
And I've been thinking like everything that I'm running through everything in Crowlem's mind, right? And the conversation is so delicious because he goes, by God, I'll tell her of your plan. I can't do that. And then like he'll go, I'll tell her that I'm trying to find any argument he has to back you down.
Right.
And he goes, I'll tell her that you have been plotting against her generally. He goes, well, that doesn't help him either.
No, yeah. Right.
Man,
Because
this is really tough.
As soon as I'm betrayed to her, then he's lost his, prime asset. I'm like, you took matters in your own hand with Adabir. Let me handle this.
Wow. He just stares at you for the longest time. And you see just a tremble of rage pass down his little body.
Mad rage.
I thought of something. Nope. Man. I rolled to see if Fraudrum had yet put in place people watching Jarwin more closely, and she's not had time. So it's possible that help could have been on the way.
Right.
You know?
I'm sorry to create such a.
No, it's really challenging. I've just the thing is, I'm not as smart or knowledgeable as Kralum is, right?
Right.
So I have to be thorough, or
As old,
otherwise,
though. Absolutely.
yeah, or otherwise it falls. It just feels flat, or
Right.
especially if we miss something, I'm gonna feel. Oh, I hate doing that.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's something easy we missed that he could have done. And it's interesting, like, because I've rolled for possibilities, but I've had to give them all penalties because this is spur of the moment for them.
Right.
So,
Yes.
like, if he had other potions around that might give him advantages, he could try those. But again, spur of the moment.
Yeah, what else would he be thinking of?
So he says, "Fine." I must fetch the person who brought you down here. You're not going to be able to walk with that shoulder. And if you trip on these treacherous stairs outside this door, then you may lose the use of that arm. But you're not going to be able to make it back to your room. Plus, we'll need another invisibility potion so that we can again get you back. Roll.
36.
Roll again.
Oh, he's making me feel bad now. Jeez. 35.
Killing me. So you realize that you are stuck with a terrible choice. You don't know what an invisibility potion looks like. Hey, how funny would it be if invisibility potions were always clear? Anyway.
It's just an empty vial.
So you have a demon lord handing you a beverage and telling you, "Trust me, drink it."
Okay. Right.
So
okay, I see. But here's the thing: the other person carrying you back also has to drink it. So bring him in here and have us both drink. I guess you could give me something different, though.
I mean, how
Would
many?
they be the same color? I don't know.
I mean, certainly, I would say by now you have seen the potions. Two things: the same potion can have variances in color, and two different potions can be a variety of colors.
Right.
And so when, like, you have a identify potion skill, right? And part of that is color. You shake it and look at the viscosity. There's all these sort of things, these clues. And the final one, the most dangerous one, is smell. Well, I guess the dangerous one is to take a little taste.
Right.
But the second most dangerous is to do a smell, and you can identify potions this way. That's how I envision the identify potion action working. And this is a demon lord who knows a lot more about potions than, let's be honest, anyone on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, I can't think of anyone who would know more potions. I mean, the odds that there's even another demon lord on the planet is practically zero. Although it's Karandrin, there's probably 8. But anyway.
Okay. I'm looking. So that's a valid thing. I would be completely in his power. I wouldn't have any way to verify what he's feeding me. Now I'm looking through my spells. See, I'm seeing if I could suggest something myself. I could say, just let me go outside and I'll teleport back outside. No, but I guess he would have to take me to my room, right?
And you can't teleport inside the keep.
Or if we still are in the keep, yeah.
You also... All right, so you don't have to make it back to your room. You don't have to make it back to the healing ward. Right? Whatever happens, happens. But there's 2 things that can't happen. No, I guess there's one thing that can't happen. You cannot be incapacitated before reaching help.
Right.
Because once you're incapacitated, they just force feed you a potion or pour it on you, and
Right. So,
oh man. I mean, I've never played. I mean, I guess I've only.
I'm starting to regret making this decision of blow.
I don't think it was the wrong play. I mean, I can't. It was a brilliant play. It was not one that I had even remotely considered.
Yeah.
And if Kralum considered it, he considered it a remote possibility. I mean, there's no way. But I mean, you're trapped.
A stupid 18-year-old would think. Okay.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're caught out of your room, right?
Right.
Alone. Who's going to get in trouble? Well, that will be Jarwin and whatever guard he's bribed.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, I could just tell Kralum, just let me, return on my own. I don't need help. I'll, whatever happens. Obviously you won't matter to you. No one knows that your existence except for Aldrin. I'll say Jarwin. I don't know why I keep struggling with that. I keep wanting to say Jarvis. Jarwin would be the only one who might be have anything to do with it.
So, what's the call? What do you?
So I just tell Kralum, so just unbind me. I'll make it back on my own. There's no, if someone sees me outside, it's like, well, it's as you said, Jarwin's the only one who's going to be held accountable, possibly. Or I'll just say, I didn't get a good look at who kidnapped me. Well, I guess I would rather say that, right? I still want this plan to be a possibility, right? So I wouldn't try to.
Right, you can't
want Jarwin to be. So I would rephrase that as, just let me go back to my own. If anyone sees me, I'll just say I don't know who it was that kidnapped me or for what purpose. Just play dumb.
You could lose the use of your arm if you fall en route to back to your bed.
Well, I don't usually fall on
Well, except that you're in pain.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would tell him I think I can manage a few steps and a ways back, even if I am in pain. Do I think I can? I don't know. I mean, I ask how far, we are. I don't know. I'm even talking to this guy. Who knows what he's telling me, if it's true or not. So.
Right. I mean, yeah. Although he has alluded to the fact that you must be within walking distance of your room.
Right. So that's why I would say it can't be far, right? I'll be careful. And I'll try to persuade him also. I want this plan with Jarvik to go through.
Jarwin
And Jarvik. I think of Javik. Javik is another NPC, I think.
Right.
And so that's worth anything. I still want that to be a possibility.
Wow. Gotta think how he's going to share this information. This is crazy. The search has already begun for you. There are 20 or more guards checking rooms, walking the grounds, looking for you. It's morning. The doctors discovered you're missing. The healers discovered that you were missing probably half an hour ago. There's no way out of this situation except for mine. So now you can do that that Gandalf line when Gandalf doesn't show up at the Prancing Pony. And, when the other people come looking for you, they find you somewhere, and you're like, "I'm sorry, I was detained."
Detained. That's right. Well, honestly, I was gonna say it is toward the end of getting close to 9. Maybe we'll leave here and find out Brise's decision next week.
Okay, I mean
I'm as much of an impasse as Brise is right now. So
I mean, I'm fine to do that. I will say, you've been warned about, every plan that Kralum makes. It may benefit you, but it will benefit him.
Mm-hmm.
And
right. So I just need to find a way to convince him to let me go, and
well, I mean, you have the way, and that is do X now, or I summon Verilag.
Right. Yeah. Just I don't care what. See, I'm just thinking of the possibilities, but
the ramifications are
we'll
scary.
consider the ramifications later. You're right. I'm gonna mark it down. We should probably just go on with it. Man, what a tricky decision. Whew.
Well, so my question was, before you end, do you want to provide that ultimatum? Are you convinced of that ultimatum, or are you still deciding?
I think I'm still deciding, because I'm concerned now what he said about the search, and I don't know if that's going to, with Miagral, kind of like with Adabir when he died, is now that I'm missing going to cause another lockdown on the keep and things. So I do want to think about that before I, just leave and right, and then make myself known. So I'll decide on that. I need to figure that out, if that's the best thing to do or not. Right? Because if I'm down here, it's for 4 days. Then maybe I will indeed. That'll go through. But if I ended up getting out of there and people are already looking for me, I don't know what that'll cause for the keep. Maybe I don't. I'm a little tired, so
Yeah, I mean it's a hell of a
it's a difficult
decision.
Oh. So I'll say I'm going to write down that next week I'll see if I'm going to make that ultimatum or not, and if I'm missing something, maybe it'll come to mind.
Of course, this is all a ploy for you to delay the decision until your miracle roll recharges, and you have
How did you know?
Right.
It's 81.
No. Well, all right. We are going to end here with Brise captured by Kralum to force her into accepting his plan as the first one to try. Thanks everybody for joining us for episode 71. We're back next week, and then Max and I'll figure out if there are going to be more this month, or this will be sort of our end ones of the year. So we'll keep you updated on that. But thanks for everything you've done. This has been another fun session. I think certainly complex as Karandrin tends to be. But at least not complex in terms of machinations. It's just complex in terms of ramifications. But if you want to support us, hey, do go to DonorBox /keep us streaming, and we would really appreciate that. And you can always go to Karandrin.com to see articles and learn more about us. I do need to get back to posting some articles that I've got 2 that are almost ready, and I just keep forgetting that I got to polish them up and send them. If you want to see more of Max, well then, hey, please go check out his YouTube channel. You see the short link there in our closing title, where he discusses the role of video game music and arrangements of video game original soundtracks. Thanks as always to Elliot Dunovitz for their terrific art for Brise's character. You can find more of their work at artstation.com/Tortolua. And I've written a book called A Shore Too Far. It's a novel I'm pretty proud of. You can find it on Amazon. And I hope you find it as fun to read as I found it to write. But we're back next week. Max, say goodbye to the lovely people.
Yeah, thanks for coming out for another jam-packed session. And hope to see you next week.
Yeah, it was a good one. We'll see you next week, guys.